This is update 6 for the potato growing experiment. Today is July 1st, 2025. So let's give you an update. First, I'm just going to stay right here and tell you some things of what you're going to see. The potato plants look terrible right now. The reason for this is because they have early blight. And the reason that they have early blight is because we have got, I don't even know how much rain we have gotten. I got a rain gauge after our rainy spring had begun, but since I've had a rain gauge, I have already measured over a foot of rain. Yes, over 12 inches of rain in just a couple months. But like I said, we've had rain before I got the rain gauge. So there you go. Anyway, as you can see from the squash bed back there, the grass is taller than the squash. It has just been constant rain. The ground has not really got to dry out to do any weeding or anything. It's just been, these poor potato plants, they have just been pounded and pounded by the rain. Constant rain. So, yes, they have early potato blight. So I'll give you a view of how that looks up close, but this is the overview, okay? And then I'll tell you what I'm going to do about it and how it's going to affect my potatoes. All right, so here's an overview. Okay, first off, I want to mention that even though these potatoes have early potato blight, they do have new growth, a lot of new growth already. So, for example, all of this right here is new growth, and it's coming out of the vine that does have the potato blight. So right here, you can see the potato blight, and you can see new growth on top. Right here, here's a bunch of new growth again on the same plant that has the potato blight. Okay, so potato blight, there's early potato blight and late potato blight. Early potato blight affects the lower and older leaves instead of the newer and younger leaves. And I'm not going to go into detail to exactly differentiate between the early blight and the late blight, so you can look that up yourself. But I will just give you some close-ups so you can kind of see what it looks like. It's papery. It kind of looks like little targets in the center. They don't cross between the veins. They kind of stay, if I can focus, they're bordered by the veins. Anyhow, okay, but yes, all of these have potato blight. Now, early potato blight is not as terminal as late potato blight, okay? So this is early potato blight, and this bed here that has the straw in it, and that bed has half straw in it, because remember, we planted each bed different ways, okay? But the ones that have straw in them, I noticed while they do have potato blight, it is not as severe as those over there that do not have any straw. Okay? You can still see they do have the blight, but it just is not as bad. But again, they all do have new growth as well. Okay? So the straw helps because as the rain comes down, it's not directly splashing on the dirt, on the soil, which is then bouncing back bacteria and fungus that might be in the soil onto the leaves. So the straw kind of helps suppress that. So I believe that's why the ones with straw are not as bad. Okay. Now over here, you can see these look absolutely terrible. Okay. You can see the leaves will die, but they don't always fall on their own off of the plant. Anyhow, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to prune off all the dead stuff, and then I'm going, when I say the dead stuff, I mean the actual obvious dead stuff like this and this. I'm going to prune off all the dead stuff, and it's too late in the morning right now for me to spray anything on it, but before I go to bed, probably around supper time, I will go ahead and I will spray some copper fungicide all over these. and that'll help some. But now how this will affect my harvest. Now remember, in that introduction to my potato growing experiment video where I actually planted these, if you'll remember that I was not planting for harvest, and I'm still not, this is simply an experiment. However, it has been extremely rainy spring, more so than usual. So that is definitely going to affect not only the quantity of potatoes that are grown, but their individual size, most likely the health of them as well. So it's probably, I just don't think that the end result is going to be very impressive either way. So keep that in mind whenever we do harvest these. And remember, these two beds, these were potatoes that were buried in a hole, like a hole in the ground, either 6 inches deep or 12 inches deep, whether whole or cut. So they were not mounded up any, which is why they appear taller than those over there, because those were trenched and I added dirt and stuff on top as the potatoes grew up. So that's why they look shorter. So this evening, probably after supper, I will come out here and I will prune off all of the dead parts that I can, and then I will spray with copper fungicide, and we'll just go from there. So that is your update. Okay, I pruned this one bed here, and you can see, let me change the lighting here. There we go. I'll block the sun. You can see all of this is what I pruned off of just this one bed right here. So I increased the airflow and I pruned off all the completely dead stuff. Now I'm just going to spray with this copper fungicide. I'm going to spray it on the surface of the leaves as well as the underside of the leaves. All right. And I'm going to continue that on this bed, and I'm going to go ahead and prune that bed and spray it, as well as those two beds, prune them and spray them as well. Okay, all 4 beds are pruned and they are sprayed with the copper fungicide. You can see they look better, and I have opened up quite a bit of space for more airflow. Let's come over here and look at these. I'm trying to block the sun, so hopefully it'll come through a little clearer. I also weeded. You can see that I did not prune off every single leaf that has the early blight on it. There they are. And I will give you another update whenever things change, whether good or bad. Oh, also, I should say, if you did not want to do this, like if you did not want to prune them and did not want to spray them and all that, and you just want it to be done, what you could do is just go ahead and cut off all the tops and wait a couple weeks, assuming that the weather is dry, okay? Wait a couple weeks and then just dig up the potatoes and, use them fairly quickly if they're suitable for use. But I'm going to try to get another couple weeks out of these, and I'll come back to you with another update. Oh, I forgot to show you. This is what I cut off. This basket full here is all the stuff that I cut off. Now, you do not want to compost this. You want to burn it. So go put it in your burn barrel and burn it.